women. It's August once again as we celebrate women in South Africa. We celebrate these women that have done so well and keep on doing very well in our society. Tonight, I'm joined by three ladies. We've got Tandiwe in Cape Town, South Africa. We've got Queen also in Cape Town as well. And we've got Tafazwa in Port Elizabeth, South Africa. Welcome, guys, to Baobab Chat. We thank you so much for allowing yourself this time to be with us. Tonight, we're going to talk about women. We're going to talk about the success of women. We're going to talk about a lot of things. We're going to talk about phenomenal women. And I believe that we've got phenomenal women tonight. Without wasting much time, I would like to jump in quickly. Probably I'll start with Tandy. What does she have to say about phenomenal women?
Thank you, Leonard. Let me introduce myself first to the audience. Hey guys, my name is Tandiwe Chimbambo. I'm 31 years old. I stay in Cape Town and I hold 3 academic degrees. My first degree is Bachelor of Arts in Communication Science. The second degree is my honors in integrated organizational communication, and my third degree is my master's in arts. I was specializing in integrated marketing communications. And I'm currently the regional mobile money manager at MTN South Africa here in Cape Town. And I'm also the head of marketing at our family business called AKM. It's an accounting firm based in PE. That's about me. And I believe that phenomenal women are women who are so powerful and women who believe in themselves despite the challenges that they face and the obstacles that they face. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Queen, what do you have to say about phenomenal women?
Cool. So good evening, everybody. So what an honor to be invited in this platform. I'm so excited to be sitting with 2 powerful women and 1 powerful man. And so my name is Queen Gumede and I'm based in Cape Town. I'm 37 years old. I currently work as an executive assistant. I hold different role in different organizations. I'm a leader by birth. I'm a child of God. Most importantly, I find my identity in Christ. And I just thought I'd mention that because that's when I found Christ. That's when I really found myself. And that actually just put me on a trajectory into becoming the woman that I am becoming currently. I'm also a mother. I've got 2 daughters that I'm raising. They are twins, 14 years old. So I'm a sister and I believe in women empowerment. And I believe that our diversity is what makes us so powerful and so strong. And because we are different, I believe in inclusion. So that's me in a nutshell.
Oh, wow, powerful. Let's go on to Tafazwa.
Thank you so much. My name is Tafazwa Marambire. I am in Port Elizabeth and I'm a mother of 2, a boy aged 5 years and a girl who is just turning 1 year in the next 2 weeks. And I'm a lecturer. I also run a successful company. I'm the director of that company that is about 2 years old. And my take or my view on a phenomenal woman is one who is hardworking, one who can take a lot of roles, who can tackle a lot of duties at the same time, one who can, being a woman, you have to a working lady, a working woman, you have to do a lot of things at home. You are a mother. At work, you are supposed to do your work. So women, strong women, who are determined, who can do anything, who are hardworking. Yeah, this is my view of the phenomenal women.
Wow, powerful. Thank you so much, guys. I mean, we all know we've been in this pandemic for the past, isn't it, from March up until now, everything hasn't gone back to normal. As women, what are challenges are you facing? I mean, in these times, you've got kids, you've got work to do, you've got marriage life. How are you surviving this, and what are you doing to make sure you're always on top of your game, guys?
Oh, okay, I think I'll start. It's not easy, especially if you have children around. Working from home, myself, I'm working from home. And of course, sometimes you try to lock yourself in a room. But honestly, when the child cries, like I said, I've got a 11-month-old baby, the temptation is let me just jump out and see why she's crying, all that. But at the same time, I
Yeah,
have to be working, and then as the day progresses, there are a lot of other chores that you must do. There are a lot of other things that you must do as a family person, as a mother. The family is waiting for you. They want to eat, all the things that you get to be doing. So honestly, this hasn't been easy, but I thank God because I've been finding some bit of some solutions to some of these things, like having to do, I was laughing the other day, having to do my washing at night, simply because I know that tomorrow I'll be facing maybe a very difficult day. My timetable will be, my schedule will be so tight. So you have to, as a lady, as a woman, you have to really think outside of the box. You have to really look for other alternatives to get you going. So I would say it hasn't been easy working from home, but thank God that I've been managing, and yeah, I'm still up and running.
yeah. You mentioned
Yeah.
important stuff. You mentioned an important point there, where you said you need to plan. I would like to hear from the other ladies. I mean, how are they coping also as well with this?
So I'll go. So for me, when lockdown started, it was a bit of a nightmare because generally I love being around people and I had to just adjust to the whole working from home, homeschooling the children, and things like that. But what I find has been helping me is that constantly checking in on myself and just checking how I am, how am I coping with everything, and being okay with whatever it is that I'm going through. Because I think when you are self-aware, it's very easy for you to find that balance and to show up in your work. I mean, it's all been different for us. We've been so used to breaking the whole routine up. You go to work, you drive, you come back at home. But now with this pandemic, your home has become everything, your everything. So it's really just finding that balance, and for me doing that constant check-in to see if I'm still okay, because I can't give from an empty cup. So that's
Wow,
me. That's what
wow,
I've been doing. Yeah.
powerful. That's powerful. Right, Sandy, your thoughts?
Change that the virus brought to us was unexpected, and no one had prepared for this. No one knew what was coming, and therefore it was a new thing to all of us,
Mm,
both in individual level and organizational levels.
yeah.
We had to start going through things that we had never done before. There were no theories as to
Mm,
provide guidelines on how to deal with this. And then when we started, I know there were disadvantages and advantages of this. And some of the advantages was working from home. It's a new thing to many people, to the organizations themselves. And I think them also, they can see the change that it has brought to profits and to the losses of the organizations. And on individual levels, I think isolating yourself from the society makes you think a lot about it. It gives you a new perspective on
mm,
life and a new view. You start looking at what you used to do, what you were to other people, and how you are coping with your own self. You start measuring your success, you start measuring your failures. So I think isolating yourself really helped us to identify ourselves as women
mm.
and realign with what is important and what is not. And that helps us to find who we are, both inside and externally.
Absolutely,
Oh
absolutely.
wow,
I couldn't
powerful,
agree with
powerful,
you more.
powerful.
Yeah,
Yes, yes. I mean, these are the challenging time. I mean, each and everyone can agree that we are in a challenging time. I mean, guys, just take us through. I mean, for in a marriage environment, how are you also surviving? You've got children, you've got a husband, you've got a job. How are you guys managing this in this time? You know, it's a lot. I know it's a lot. I want to know how are you managing these things?
Okay.
Anyone can go.
Like you said, it's not easy. But for me, I think I've had the most supporting husband ever. He tries by all means to support, but I'm sure it's so hectic. I mean, like what Kandi was saying, this is something that is new. No one had prepared anyone for this. No one was prepared for this, and having to find our space. Everyone is around. Everyone is in the house, but we all need to find our space to do our work and all that. So it can be a bit stressful. But on my side, I really thank God because my husband has been so supportive and even assisting me with some of the things that I had to do or I'm still doing. So yeah, for me it has been challenging, but the helping hand was really helpful.
Oh wow. I just wanna go through jump in there. I just said an important part from Tafazwa, where I want to find out now from the home side. I hear the people are helping each other. What about on the work environment? How are you guys working with the male colleagues? I mean, how are they treating you? I mean, this is your month. It's the time to share, to pour out everything. How are the male colleagues treating the women in the work areas?
Okay, Lennon, let me first comment on the marriage part, and I'll go jump to my workplace because I prepared for my marriage part. Okay, like Fatima
Okay.
said, in a marriage is a relationship that is comprised of two different people, and I think if you know your strengths as individuals and your weaknesses as individuals, then you know the joint force that you two have together, and then you learn to respect the differences that you two have on each other. I think that will help you to strengthen your relationship. So I think many marriages have been put to test during this period because to seeing too much of each other sometimes creates that tension. You start realizing things that you didn't know, and then set of things happen. But then I think also for people who truly love each other, it's a time to bond and to be together. Like we never had this opportunity to be with our families and with our spouses for this long. So I think in a way it has got its advantages and disadvantages, but anyway, we have to look at the good aspects of life always. And then in the workplace, I think the COVID-19 and working from home has really helped because when we are working in workspaces, sometimes we face challenges that we cannot express as women, such as abuse and all sort of stuff, but we cannot express it. At the same time, we have to schedule, to juggle on a schedule of waking up every day and getting on a bus to go to work and coming back home. But working from home is short, what can I say? It has lessened the barriers that we are facing in the workplace, such as abuse. So we don't see much of each other, and negativity such as office gossip is reduced. We don't see each other anymore. We just concentrate on what we have to do in the workplace, and that can be done at home without seeing other people. So I think working from home as a woman is really an advantage to us as we get to spend more time with the people that we love.
Oh wow. Queen,
Wonderful.
your take
Yeah.
on the working environment as a woman?
Um, for me, I think the working from home, just like Tandy has said, it has kind of it just has put a spanner on everything else. But we will get back to the office environment, and we have to talk about these things. So I think it's important for women to have a voice, or for organizations to create an environment where if we are not happy, we are able to address issues. I am blessed in the regards that where I'm currently working, we're constantly having these conversations about inclusivity, about unconscious biases, about respect in the workplace. And I think it's important for every organization and for even the people that are starting up companies to keep the conversation going in terms of respecting one another and not making it a male dominated environment, but creating environments that actually build women up, and creating environments that are of inclusion and that make you feel like that your voice is heard. So yes, this time we are working from home, but we are going to go back in the workplaces, and I think it is very important that us as women, we find our voice, even if it means that you shake while you are making yourself heard in the workplace. But we need to always make sure that we are heard, and that our bosses, they facilitate environment where we can be heard actually.
I was just reading a comment here from someone. They said heartwarming comments to hear that. I mean, men are actually helping in the houses as well. So which means some men are doing something good. I always hear these people talking. Especially ladies. There is that mentality that you, as women, you always try to pull down on each other. People saying, no, this is Queen. Look at what she's done. This is Tandy. Look at what she's done. Tafagwa. But, no ladies are actually happy about what other ladies are doing. I mean, is it true? I want to hear it from the ladies today. Is it true is that ladies are always pulling each other down? And what can we do, to stop this as women,
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it's just a perception that people have or that they are making out. I think, well, maybe let me speak for my generation. I think women are taking up spaces now, and they are actually lifting each other up. I'm seeing more and more women rising up and actually saying, hey, you can do this. This is what you can do. And they are clapping hands for each other. It's just that as people, we have this tendency of always trying to focusing more on the negative as opposed to focusing more on the positive. But in my experience, I am seeing more and more women actually lifting each other up. I'm not sure what Tafadzwa and Tandi are seeing on their side. Maybe they can just share a bit.
Let's hear from them.
Okay, yeah, I agree to a certain extent, but I think we are coming from a point of view where generally women rarely support each other or uplift each other, but as things are getting better, as more women are doing great things, I think we are appreciating each other slowly. We are getting there. Of course, the norm, or maybe what used to happen, was that nothing no I mean nothing was expected from a lady, and so when one lady does this, I think we were not supporting each other. But I agree now that people are coming up, ladies are coming up, women are coming up, supporting one another. I mean, it's because more of us are taking some leading roles. We are doing things, so it's becoming normal. It's becoming something that people can really appreciate. But I agree that back then, or maybe the past years, it has really been difficult. You try to do something as a lady, you really get support from your fellow, the other ladies. You get appreciation maybe from men, but us on our own, it was very difficult. But then it's getting better. It's really getting better.
Beautiful. Sandy?
I think this has got nothing to do with the gender, but it is everything to do with jealousy. Because I think that's when but I'm not a Christian, so I don't really know how to do. But they killed, one of them killed each other. So it was because of jealousy, because of pulling one person down, because of competition, which I see, like the doctor has said, it has got everything to do with perspectives, how you view things. Some can say jealousy is actually a good thing, because it makes you see the competition that you have on your progress. But then at the same time, I think competition should be about from where you are coming from versus where you are. The competition should be within yourself, not comparing yourself to someone else. So I think pulling each other
Absolutely.
has got nothing to do about being a woman, but everything to do with seeing someone who's close to you achieving things that you never knew they would, and then therefore you start thinking that you're not doing enough for yourself. You start judging yourself that you're doing less, of which their success has got nothing to do with you, and their success will not will not take anything away from you.
I think I
Wow,
would
Absolutely.
powerful. Mm.
to with
Yes,
Tanya
doc.
there. I agree that I think jealousy contributes a lot here. I think it does contribute a lot. Where maybe if you see someone doing this, you think, okay, how can she be doing this? Maybe it could have been me, or maybe if a lady comes to your office and they want to leave maybe a CV, their CV is to look for a job or whatever. The attitude that you get, especially from females, as compared to our brothers, our male, the gents, the reception that you get when it's a lady sitting there, it's absolutely different from what you get when it's the opposite sex. So I think it really is jealous. But like I said, more and more people are getting to appreciate that, okay, this is what is happening. As more and more women get into the industries, more of us are doing things. People are really coming up and realizing that, okay, this is what it is, and we can all do this. So yeah, I think gossiping about each other is kind of reducing these days.
Yeah. And I,
Oh,
I and
wow.
I think,
Wow.
yeah, I agree. And I think also maybe it's also got to do like the whole jealousy thing. It's having the scarcity mentality, because I think we are taught that if that other person succeed, that means I can't succeed because they've taken it away from me, so to speak. So it's all about having that scarcity mentality to say there's not enough, but we kind of have to start shifting to an abundance mindset to think that actually if Queen is succeeding, I can also do it. If Tandy is doing it and Tafazwa is doing it, I can also do it, because there's just more than enough for everybody. And I think also with the schooling system has everything to do with it, because everything is just a competition. I think there hasn't been a culture of collaboration that has been created as we were growing up. It's always been like number one, number two, number three. But if we start to change that and we put it into terms of people can actually collaborate, and if people collaborate, they can actually do greater things and they can do things better. And if people start seeing other people succeeding and actually saying, hey, how are you doing it? And then in that way, we lift each other up, if you know what I'm saying. So I think I
Oh,
think it's a
wow.
lot of things that come together that makes people like that to think, oh, just because this one is succeeding, that means they've taken up, there's no more seats for me at that table. And that's actually a wrong mentality.
I agree with you,
Okay.
Queen, sorry, to say the curriculum that we grew up in, it is a standardized curriculum to say these are the standards of success. If you are good at math, then that means you're clever. But they don't
Yeah,
understand that we are a balanced group of different talents. If we are all scientists, this world will not function? We need diversity. We need arts. We need people who do weird things. We need crazy people. We need doctors. We need teachers. We need engineers. So in order
absolutely.
to balance, there is the good and the bad in the world. So I think accepting that people are different and you cannot measure success based on your level of measurement, it will not work, because I'm different to you, and together we make this collective world that God has created for us. And I think there's a place within this world for each and every individual to explore what God has given them within themselves than to try and follow what the society has set for us as a measure of success. So I think
Absolutely.
success comes from within yourself. You try to measure yourself according to the standards that you have set and the time that you have taken to accomplish them. So not
Absolutely.
measuring yourself or measuring yourself compared to your neighbor or to your friend. So
Absolutely.
I think
Absolutely.
your success is a measure of where the day that you were born until the day that you die. What happens in between got nothing to do with the other person. Some die the day
Absolutely.
they were born. Some kids, they don't even get a chance to be born. Some, they live up to 95. Some die at 31. So you can't say by the time I turn 20, I should have done this like my friend, because you don't know. You don't know. They were born different from you and they're gonna die differently from you. So their journey is totally different.
Absolutely.
Yeah, wow,
Absolutely.
powerful conversation here. So you guys, do you think, okay, how are you being treated? I mean, in the work environment in terms of positions. Talking about higher positions now, or is still saying that as a woman you should be a receptionist or you should be a tea girl? You know, how are you facing these challenges in the workplaces in terms of position? It might not be from you guys, or it might be from the other things that you've heard from other women. What's your take on that, guys?
Okay. I think these days, I think opportunities are accessible by everyone. I think the work environment is really doing great work in that regard. That people are given a fair chance, a fair opportunity. So I think, yeah, it's as compared to the days that maybe when we were growing up. I think it's actually better now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Guys,
I can.
anyone to take it?
Okay, and
You can go ahead.
I think the most fortunate generation, because we are growing up in a society where the spotlight is now on previously marginalized groups such as women. So everyone is trying to take their space. The spotlight is shining on us. And then, like Zozibini said, it's time for women to take our space in society and realize what we can do. But unfortunately, 72% of the global employment is still, the 72% is still occupied by men. But as we grow, we learn to realize that everyone is behind us. There are so many organizations and so many things that are customized now for women, like Women for Women Foundations, First for Women Insurances. So those are the things that are trying to attach themselves with the revolution to empower women than what it was before. So I think it's up to us to
Um,
realize everyone in the
Yeah.
overall race, it's just up to us to make that decision to step forward.
yeah, it actually brings us to a point that I actually wanted to mention where, let's say, there is a position at my workplace as a woman, and I know my next door neighbor, a woman, is looking for a job. There is a talk that you guys say, if I put her into this job, then she's gonna have more than me, or she's gonna earn more than me, or once she gets there, then she's not gonna appreciate what I did for her. I mean, is this something that you know about it, or something that you want to discuss about it?
I don't know. I don't think I think that's generalizing, and that's
Yeah.
probably another. It's a stereotypical thing. I think we have evolved as a people and as a woman and as women, and as a
Mm.
society. I don't think those are the issues. Maybe it's one or two or three people that are still finding those. Challenges, but I think women are really coming out of their shell and just realizing that they are unique, and that just because I am helping the other person, it doesn't mean that they are going to be better than me. And even if they do better than me, it's okay. It's understanding. It's just understanding that I'm going to go back to the abundance mindset. I think we, more and more women, as we are lifting each other up, we are realizing that there's more than enough seats for all of us at the table. And I think it's important for us to break those stereotypes and to break those kind of conversations that say that actually women like pulling each other down. I mean, I'm seeing more and more women planning even like these nice parties where it's just the Duke parties, and there's like thousands of women that get together, and they actually have a whole lot of fun without men. But there is that thing that is going around that, oh yeah, but women actually don't like each other. We actually love each other. We uplift each other. And yeah, I think that's
sorry
how
to
I'm
cut you there.
seeing it. Yeah.
There's a comment there that Liberty put on. He said, how are you dealing with, how have you dealt with any form of abuse? I mean, it might be in a workplace, it might be in a home area, it might be in a mall, wherever you go in a society. How have you dealt with any form of abuse, or if anyone met something like that? I'll throw it in the panel, in the panelists.
Okay, so I'll go. I'm a very outspoken person, and I call a spade a spade. Unfortunately or fortunately, that can work against me sometimes. So the way I deal with abuse is just calling it out as it is and as and when it happens, so that I can deal with it there and then. And I would strongly recommend, especially in a work environment, it's a very, very important to call things out as and when they happen, you know, to that person, so that when you go and report it to management, you've already dealt with it there, so that it doesn't, it all of a sudden, because people have this tendency of pretending like, oh, I didn't know that actually happened, that they saw it that way. But to the other women that are not as outspoken as I am, I would say it's always good to have somebody to speak to, so that you've got like a sounding board to say, hey, this is what happened to me. How should I deal with it? And in that way, you have that support, because it's keeping quiet is not the time to keep quiet about anything. We've got a voice and we must use it.
Wow, powerful. Tandy, what?
Okay, I wanted to say I agree with Queen.
Okay.
Okay, let me just, because I know people have so much to say. Tabaza will have so much more to say. I know she's so let me just speak my. I think
okay.
I like the Queen said, being outspoken is really helpful, but then it also depends on the age of the women that we're talking of. We cannot only speak for ourselves. Remember, there are children that we live with. They are our aunties' children, our small nieces, our 4 or 5-year-olds who are facing abuse. They cannot outspeak to what is happening to them, because maybe the male perpetrator is the one who's providing for the family, so they won't be scared to speak for themselves. So I would think that as women, we play an important role as aunties, even if we are not biologically related to those kids, just to show that even if things are not okay at home, they can come and be with you. They are free to talk.
Exactly.
That happens. So I think it extends from our workplace to the areas and communities where we live, to our friends, to our relatives. Just be that nice auntie that you wish to be had when you were growing up. So just that person to that child. You don't know what you are avoiding that person's life. You don't know the role that you're playing. It's gonna be huge, and it's gonna have so many benefits to that child as they grow. So I think just starts from home. Let's be those people that speaks out for kids that cannot speak for themselves.
Absolutely.
Amen. Oh, that's good. Yeah. Doc.
Okay, I was gonna say, I think I agree with Queen, and also with Tandy. But first, let me go with Queen. I think it's really important to fight for yourself. Let that person know that you don't like it, whatever they are doing or whichever form of abuse. The first thing I think is to show them that you don't like it. You might not be as outspoken, or you might not be in a position to really deal with it, but they must know This person doesn't like it. And then I'll also agree with Tandy that we need to, especially us as ladies, we need to be there for each other. I think we maybe as we were growing up, you lacked that aunt or that person that you could talk to. Why not start doing exactly what you expected other people to do? Then you start doing it to others, because it might be most people, especially the young ladies, they are so afraid to speak to anyone for that matter. So start having friends that be friendly to them, show them that you are there, so that when something happens to them, they can also speak to you. So it now comes back to that point of being there for each other, supporting each other, uplifting each other. It's not only in the business environment, but socially as well. We must be able to support each other. But I will hammer on the point that you, as an individual, especially as a lady, as a woman, you need to speak for yourself, stand for yourself. You might not be able to really, do the fight, but the person must know that what she or he did, you don't accept it, you don't like it.
Oh, wow, powerful, powerful. I just read a comment here from Shalom. She says the HR department is not that lenient when it comes to women, sadly. Do you guys agree with this comment? The human resources department is not that lenient when it comes to women, sadly. Anyway, Tandy, you've got some burning things there. You can go ahead.
I think that this is subjective. We cannot generalize this. South Africa
Okay.
country, we stand up for our rights, and so many organizations, they recognize women. So we fight, and each other, they know this. Unless it's a small family business that is trying to hide things, but big organizations work for women are actually given a higher space. We are actually celebrated. So HR will be on your case, they will be on your speed dial. They will do anything for you to protect you as a woman. I'm not sure how things are back home. Really, I don't know. But here in South Africa, I think we have our spot, our space.
And also I think it's important also, even in an organization, to have that go-to person. If you know that, because sometimes characters do clash, we can never run away from that some characters do clash. So I think it's also important to have someone that you trust, that can speak for you, that is in management, if you feel like that you are maybe being treated unfairly by the HR themselves. So I think we should never find ourselves in a position where we think that we cannot be heard anywhere. You need to find some way where you can be heard. So yeah, that's what my thoughts on that comment.
Wow. Jeff?
Yeah.
Anything to add on that?
Yes, I'll add on that. Okay, it's so sad if it's still happening, but like I said, I believe that things are changing. Like what Tandy said, we have a lot of backup. People are backing us up. Organizations are backing us up. Currently. So I think it's slowly changing. And I also want to still put that point of standing up for yourself. If maybe there was an interview where you guys were interviewed and you feel like as a lady you were sidelined, or there was something that happened simply because maybe you are a lady and maybe the other one is a gentleman, you've got the right to go and ask, to say in a nice way. Don't accuse them. Don't ask in a nice way. Okay, I just want to know, where did I go wrong that interview? What happened? Can I have feedback? You are allowed to do that, and I'm sure the more you do that, they'll know that you're not a pushover. So I would still say, let's learn to stand for ourselves. And if there's someone maybe you can talk to, like what Queen said, in the organization, air your views to that person and get clarity on why maybe you didn't get that position, and why the other person maybe got it. You've got the right to ask, I'm sure.
Oh, wow. Interesting questions also coming up on our Facebook Live. There, Paul says there is a potential there's a potential women vice president in the USA. How important is it in terms of influencing young women? How important is it? How important is it? Anyone to take on that?
I think America is a first world country is already countries. So I think whatever they do, we as Africans are following behind slightly. In South Africa, I think is it's one of the most developed. It's ranked high on developing countries. So I think we are not far behind from South Africa. We are not far behind from America. So I think having a female vice president is not something that is new to Africa. We have heard that before here in Malawi. We have heard that in countries, but just because it's a first world country, the media makes it seem as if it's something that they exaggerate it, of which to us Africans, we don't have that applied on us. Our success and our achievements are not really celebrated. They can only be seen as a wow when it's done in America.
Absolutely.
But okay, what is stopping us as women? What is stopping women to take this position, the presidential position, the vice presidential position, especially in Africa? Anyone to go for that one? Why is it okay? We've got women in the ministerial position, but we have had a few women who are ready to go for the top post. Why are women not going for it?
I don't think they're necessarily not going for it. I think we are going for it, but it's the men that are in position that are not willing to move over. Because I think women are ready to take up those spaces. And to be quite frank, I think if more women took up spaces, some of the things the problems that we are facing in society, we wouldn't be facing them, because women actually are more understanding as created by God, and we are more nurturing. And I think it's just because at this particular time we are just dominated by men who refuse to retire. And if they are watching this, they must retire, because we are ready to take over.
So I don't think
Yes, Tali.
With the women facing that any gender can fail to take that position. For example, we've got such certain political parties that have been in power for so long in Zimbabwe and in South Africa and in other parts of Africa. So it's not about women, it's even other men occupying top positions in opposition parties still failing. So I don't think it's a women thing, it's a power thing in African men, in African political parties that refuses to give up power.
Yeah. Men need to give up the power.
Yes, and even the vote. I think the voters themselves, I think there's still that kind of I don't know if it's mistrust or I don't know. So because definitely for you to be on some of those positions, you need the backing of the voters. You need them to vote you there. So I think it starts even in the parties themselves to have a female candidate, to push up a female candidate, and so on. But honestly, I believe that as but with the pace that we have, things are changing towards women. I'm sure very soon we'll have more people supporting women in such positions.
Yeah, but otherwise,
Sten just said we are under attack here. We need men are under attack here.
No, they just need to release a little bit of power. Men need to just start releasing a bit of power and allowing women to have a voice in those positions. I think that's it.
The issue of democracy, we really need to start practicing democracy in our countries, such as the one that we have here in South Africa, such that it's easier for women to take up their positions and to step up. In Zimbabwe, there's no democracy, so we cannot expect even powerful MDC male candidates cannot even take up the ruling party. So what is a mere woman who is just from Norway trying to take up that position? And I also think that organizations that are behind this, such as African Union, the SADC, they need to do what they're supposed to do, not to just come and do nothing, and then they give up false reports about the progress that is happening in the current situations that is happening in the countries. So I think we cannot have a voice for ourselves. Those organizations should be able to give an assessment of the exact situation on the ground, not to lie about certain things, which gives a different picture to the world.
Oh wow! This another comment is saying most, if not all, countries led by women managed the COVID situation very well.
New Zealand.
So, which means women are doing very well. So, you should be given this higher position in any way. Yep.
Absolutely.
I think
Absolutely.
coming from our ancestral traditions, women is always have this power, but that they don't realize it. You know, in our culture, even your language is something that is part of you. It's called Ururimi Rwamai, mentioning that a woman is behind this, but we don't realize the power that we have. We tend to hide within ourselves, maybe because of the abuse that. But according to you,
Yeah.
statistics, 88% of the women are abused by their partners, and that they know, but then they don't realize it. So, because of the changing structures, remember, women, we used to hold inner positions like an atete and an auntie. We used to unify the family, but because of the changing dynamics due to migration, we are no longer in the same compound. We are no longer mining. We are now far away. So communication is now digital, and our role as women is now changing. Instead of becoming an inside within our families, now it's time to go out there and take our external positions. So let's not give up on ourselves. Let's just go on with the flow. Let's go on with the change, and then migrate from the internal duties that we used to do and start empowering our industrial spaces out there.
Okay, and
Absolutely.
ladies, what can you say about inspiring other women? I mean, especially the young ones. I mean, the young ones that are coming up, that are coming from school, that are now going into the working environment. What can you say to them? What words of advice can you give to them?
I think knowing yourself and mastering yourself is very, very key as a woman or as a human being. So, and knowing what your values are, and not letting society define you. So by the time you get to the work environment, to the university environment, you kind of have to define what your values are. You kind of need to define who you are as a person, and you need to understand yourself. So self-love. I would speak to self-love, because if you love yourself, there are things that you will not allow to happen to you. So that would be my advice to the women that are coming up, is that loving yourself and knowing who you are and knowing the values that drive your life and that drive your decision making, those will help you to succeed in life. Because this world, in as much as we want to paint a beautiful picture, it's unfortunately got a lot of negativity, and it's got a lot of societal things that are infiltrating. There's a lot of culture that is coming in, a lot of immorality that is coming in. So it's important as a woman to be so definite in who you are, and to know your value, so much so that if other things come, you are able to see them. So, and I think for us as older women, it's important for us to be mentors, to be that sounding board for the upcoming women, to facilitate those environments for young women to actually come to us and say, hey, how did you deal with it? So for me, I'm raising two daughters, and I need to facilitate that environment. I've got to be that example, I shouldn't be doing A, B, and C, but expecting my children to do something else. So like Thandi kept on saying, it's an inside thing that has to happen, and then once you've done the inside work, it starts to come out and it helps everybody else that is around you.
All right. Maybe
Yeah.
just to add on that, I mean, just to add on the inspiration of other women and other young ladies, just
Yeah.
what has been your biggest, your biggest success? You know, what have you done to be where you are today? Just to add on the question that I've asked earlier on, you know, you can just tackle both of them together.
Okay, let me just first start on add on the point that I was giving a Queen to say globalization has really changed our culture. We are starting to accept many different cultures. Our neighbors are Congolese, Nigerians, Mauritians, Americans. So we are starting to be up to absorb a lot of culture. So I think identifying yourself as soon as you come out of school, identify what you are, who do you want to be, what do you want to do. Because when we grew up in Zimbabwe, it was just becoming a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher, a soldier, or a policeman. Not the only professions that we have. I'm a public relations officer. We don't have that top five. But I measure my success as very successful because I've done what I really wanted to do. It's my heart. I started on with a couple of diplomas that I did because I was forced with my parents to do that because they said that is what brings money to you. So you are now measured. I really have to follow what I do with my heart, or am I doing this for money? So I think if you are in an environment that accepts diversity, such as South Africa, you are now able to follow what you want to do. If you're an art person, do the arts that you want. Don't force yourself in a profession that you don't want to be in simply because of money. But then at the same time, measure the opportunities that you have, measure the resources that you have, so that you can be able to align your objectives to where you want to be.
Oh wow, wow, powerful. With these two questions, I just want to give it to Doc. She might just tackle these two, and then we'll go around up with your parting shot. I'll start with Doc. What is your parting shot before we end the conversation?
Oh, okay. I would say, most importantly, build your confidence. Uh, from as young as you can, to the young women coming up, young ladies, start building your confidence where you are right now. Get involved in a lot of things so that you can build your confidence. That when you get to a work environment, you can do just about anything. You are confident enough to meet any challenge that can come your way. So I would say it starts from a very young age to build your confidence. So get involved. Don't be scared. Spread your wings. There's a lot of support for women around. So build up your confidence and be able to just do anything that comes your way.
Wow, wow, Queen, your parting shot.
Sorry, is that me? Sorry, I didn't.
Yes. Your parting shots before we end the conversation. What do you have to say to the young women out there and to everyone out there, every woman out there?
So what can I say? So just to reiterate what I've said, it's important to know yourself. It's important to value yourself. It's also important for us as women to understand that we are so powerful beyond comprehension, and to understand that another woman is not your competition. The other woman is actually your sister. Um, we are stronger united, we are stronger together, and that just know that not even the sky is the limit. We mustn't limit ourselves. We are really, really powerful, and let's aim high and let's lift each other up. And as we go up, let's make sure, us, especially the older ones, let's make sure that we are lifting the younger people, and we are going with them to the top. That's just my parting shots. Thank you.
Wow, 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 powerful. Sandy, your parting shots.
Okay, I believe that in life there are aspects of life that you can control, and there are aspects of life that you cannot control. So the aspects of life that you cannot control are the day that you were born and the day that you are gonna die. You don't know. You didn't know that you're gonna be born, and you don't know when you're gonna die. So I think many things in between those two ends you cannot control them as well, but you can control such things as your career, as your decisions. And then when you are in situations where you cannot come out of it, just do your part, do what you can, and leave the rest up to God. Just trust the process. I hate this tattoo. It says, trust the process. So even if you think things are not going well for you, just be do good. Good will come back to you. It's like a karma. If you are good to the world, the good that you do will find a way to come back to you. So just do what you can and be righteous. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. Just know that as long as you are good, it is going to come back to you in the ways that you do not expect.
Wow, wow, powerful, powerful day. Thank you so much, ladies. I mean, it's been great. Firstly, I would like to say Happy Women's Month to everyone, to the panelists, and all the women out there. Thank you so much for such a great conversation. We're definitely gonna have a second part. I see in the comments people were asking we need a second part of this. Then there are concerning issues that are coming up. We would like to thank you, ladies, for your time. Thank you, viewers. Thank you all, everyone who was watching. For today, we'll say we'll end here and we'll continue again sometime. Thank you.
Thank you.